Okay, and our final story for the day, something that upsets me deeply. We're going to talk about Daniel Hale again. He was sentenced on Tuesday, and he's receiving almost 4 years in prison for telling America the truth, for being an American hero, for being a patriot. He is serving almost 4 years in prison, and we're going to get into why this is complete garbage. But first, so Daniel Hale was sentenced to 45 months in prison for leaking classified information, exposing the U.S. drone and targeted assassination program. Hale, a former U.S. member of the U.S. Air Force, pleaded guilty in March to one count of violating the World War I era Espionage Act. Hale told the judge before his sentencing, "I'm here because I stole something that was never mine to take, precious human life. Please forgive me for taking papers instead of human lives." Famed NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden tweeted, "Hale's crime was telling this truth. 90% of those killed by U.S. drones are bystanders, not the intended targets. He should have been given a medal." So that was one of the biggest things. 90%. We talked about the strikes in Somalia earlier, and they want to say that their intended targets were hit when we already know that 90% of those killed of U.S. drone strikes kill civilian casualties and don't even kill the intended targets. So there's different types of drone strikes. Now, there's targeted killings, and then there's signature strikes. And targeted killings are where they know that the target's there. They like have eyes on the target, and they would strike. Now, signature strike is more based on what Daniel Hale would do, which is like cell phone data. It could be anybody. And then even in both of those situations, doesn't matter, you know, we think he might be there or you know he's there. It doesn't matter who was around. It doesn't matter the casualty rate. Bomb him, figure it out later. Don't report it. You know, overt. They have overt combat operations and they have covert combat operations. That should just be pretty obvious. Overt is ones that they actually report on. The numbers are fudged. The numbers are skewed. And then the covert ones are just ones that they don't report on. You think that the government, especially when it comes to these, that we've already known them to be liars, but especially with how many people that they're just killing, innocent bystanders that they're killing, and recklessly throughout the world. Well, of course they're not going to tell us the truth. Of course they're not. So these drone strikes are totally disgusting, and they are also known to do double taps, which is the process of striking an area and then striking the first responders. And 9 times out of 10, the first responders, which is the first people on the scene after the strike, are actual first responders, ambulance, fire trucks, things like that. So they bomb their target and then they bomb the ambulance, the people that are trying to help people, the medical staff. That's what they do. And the drone strikes are such a disgusting idea, and in practice they're impractical and they just don't work. Now, Daniel Hale revealing this, whatever his motives may be, but I can really understand where he would feel like guilt from that. But even if he had ulterior motives, at the end of the day, which is what these lawyers argued, for the prosecutors argued for, is that he did it for selfish reasons. He just wanted to be famous. He just wanted to be a journalist. Doesn't matter. He was an American hero. And in fact, whistleblowing is a long-standing tradition in America. The first ever whistleblower was in 1773, and it's somebody you might have heard of. It is Benjamin Franklin. He leaked letters of a Massachusetts governor promoting war with misinformation. He was sending letters overseas to the British Parliament and antagonizing and stoking the flames of war. Now, I think Benjamin Franklin had the idea in his head, as most whistleblowers do, that this may have helped people, but it didn't. In fact, it stoked the flames of war even more, because knowing that they're being lied to people automatically get upset about that. Why wouldn't they? And he was taken into custody, and he was put on trial, and he was treated like trash by the British government at the time, which was his government. He was verbally abused, he was fired from his positions, and this is the precedent that has been set up in America. This is the precedent of whistleblowers from the very beginning. Now, in after that, in 1777, a few naval officers, John Grannis, Samuel Shaw, and Richard Marvin, at least those are just a few, conspired and revealed the torture of British POWs in the Revolutionary War. You know what happened to them? They were arrested as traitors. At least at first, they were arrested as traitors. But this is what was interesting, at least at that time, is that Congress, who didn't have enough money and decided they didn't have enough money to give George Washington's army footwear during the winter, decided to pass legislation on whistleblower protection. Now, how American is that? These men were released, they were given compensation, and Congress, our forefathers, which again is what Republicans and Democrats, but especially Republicans, love to represent, as our forefathers made it so whistleblowers would always be protected. Now let's fast forward. Chelsea Manning. She served 7 years of a 35-year sentence before she was released. What did she show? She was the first one to whistleblow about the double taps, but not with the drone strikes, but with actual human beings. Actual human beings in conventional military grade aircrafts shooting people, and then shooting the first responders that would come to help them people and laughing about it. So she revealed that, and she served 7 years before she was finally pardoned. And she's a transgender woman, and within the prison, she was treated like absolute garbage. She was never given proper health care as a woman, not recognized as a woman. Edward Snowden has had to spend, he'll have to spend the rest of his remaining life, unless someone changes it, in Russia, where he's granted asylum. And why he's not protected? Because he's not protected under the Whistleblower Act because he broke the law. He's not protected under the Whistleblower Act because the U.S. technically didn't break the law when it came to spying on millions of Americans and collecting all of their data, which is what Edward Snowden revealed, that the NSA is spying on all of us. But the NSA wasn't breaking the law. The NSA isn't breaking the law, but just people didn't know about it. So if you're not breaking the law and it's not so shady, why don't you just tell everybody you were doing it? Oh, it's because it's unethical and it's immoral. Technically, it might not be illegal, in air quotes, thanks to the Patriot Act, but that is an old piece of legislation that needs to die anyway. Reality winner. She revealed secrets on the Iraq War, and she had to serve her full sentence, 63 months in prison. She was another one that leaked to The Intercept. Julian Assange is being held, even though he is not an American citizen, but still he is being held indefinitely in Europe at the moment, and hopefully, and if he gets released, if he gets extradited into America, he will be put to death because of WikiLeaks and everything that he revealed. With Chelsea Manning and multiple other stories, WikiLeaks revealed a crazy amount. Now, why is this such a big deal? Because when why is Daniel Hale an American hero? Why is Julian Assange a hero? Chelsea Manning a hero? Edward Snowden a hero? Why are these people heroes? Reality winner. Why are they heroes? Because they stood up against the government. They stood up against the forces, and they knew at the end of the day, like, if you know anything about history, and these guys are military officials, they know that when you're a whistleblower, you know what the consequences you are facing. And 9 times out of 10, you are going to get revealed. It just happens. You can check your sources all you want, but it happens. So, why are they heroes? Because they risked it all. Everything. On what they truly believed in. What they felt was right. And I respect that. Because the American people deserve to know the truth. They deserve to know the corrupt actions that its government is taking throughout the world. Because people don't want that. People don't want their money spent on that. People don't want America to be seen as a big bully. The average person doesn't want that. They don't want this imperialistic nation. They don't want this imperialistic force that mows down everything and spends trillions of dollars on a defense budget when it is bigger than all of our allies combined. I just look at it and I see that Daniel Hale deserves to be freed, but Biden will not pardon him. While Biden is known to, you guys can ask questions. The media, you guys can ask questions. I'm not gonna try to silence you like Trump. When it comes to whistleblowers, he has no remorse. Crickets. When it comes to Daniel Hale, and that's depressing. Crickets when it comes to Edward Snowden. The one power that the president has is to pardon people. His main power that he can do, and nobody can stop him. And these American heroes, he chooses not to pardon. Daniel Hale does not deserve this. And I hope that he gets justice. Thank you. Thank you, Daniel Hale, for being an American hero.